Hello, this is Shambhavi. Welcome to Satsang. Satsang is an ancient spiritual practice from India. It means being in reality together. I give Satsang live every Wednesday and Sunday night in Portland, Maine. This Dharma talk was recorded during one of our Wednesday night gatherings. Please visit jayakula.org to learn more about the teachings. You can find video satsangs on Jayakula's YouTube channel, and my books are all available on Amazon.com. Much love to you, wherever and however you are. So first I want to say that I love all of you very, very much, even those of you that I've never met before, and all the people that have been here studying with me, and even those who are not in this room. When you try to get love from me, however, you don't receive the love that I'm giving you. This is the paradox. It not only applies to your relationship with me, but with everyone. When you try to get love from people in the form that you want it, when you try to meet the demands of small I, of your limiting karmas, of your tensions that are telling you, oh, I feel sad and desperate and abandoned because Shambhavi's going away. Some people have expressed this to me in the last few days. That's the origin of this talk. Some people were already anticipating and churning up sadness and loneliness and loss inside of themselves, even while I was still here. And I am still here. When you are trying to get love, when you are trying to fix relationships with people so that they have the kind of faux permanence that you think will satisfy your anxiety about being loved, about being abandoned, about being lonely. When you try to manipulate reality, manipulate teacher, manipulate partners, manipulate friends into loving you, in quotes, in the way that small self defines love, you cannot be loved. That is the paradox. Those of you who come to me and say, oh, I love you so much, and this, that, and the other thing, love me, love me, love me, love me, love me. You people have no idea how much I love you. You people who are writing me long love letters and email. Some of them are very sincere, but some of them are very hungry ghosty. You can't feel love until you open your heart and give everything. If you really want to feel love, you have to start with giving. And you have to start with, first of all, giving away. You have to give away your tensions. You have to go inside your heart and give away your tensions, not knowing what's going to replace them. You have to be willing to feel the groundlessness of love if you want to feel the abundance of love that is everything. Do you know why I love you so much? Because Ma loves me so much. My guru, Anandamayi Ma, for those of you that are new. She showed me what love is. She showed me the abundance of love. And she showed me that because my heart was open and empty and without expectation. Only in that condition could I feel the outpouring, the continual outpouring of love and compassion that was coming from her. And when I want to love you, I'm not enlightened. I have tensions. But when I want to love you, all I need to do is now is go in my heart and feel Ma's love pouring into me and just love you like that. None of you love me that way, despite all of your protests. And when you give away the constraints on your heart, when you let me love you, when you love me with an empty heart, when you let me come into your heart, then when you say, I love you, I'll believe you. When we love, or we say we love, from the perspective of small heart, small I, what I want, what I need, in order to quell my anxieties, in order to assuage my loneliness, in order to create a semblance of permanence and ground in my life, all you are doing is sucking something out of other people. The great sucking sound. And, the sad thing isn't that you're sucking things out of other people or trying to. The sad thing is that if someone else loves you, you can't feel it. Because you are so busy filling the space of your heart, the space of your consciousness with your needs. And then there is no room for the constant outpouring of love to get in you. Now, I'm not berating anybody. This is the practice. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. If you all could love me the way I love you, we'd be done. We could just go on and, have nice lives together and forget about all this sadhana. But if you can open your heart, give away those demands of small I, give them away, empty your heart, and really give that to me, to other people. That's the offering. The offering is what you give away. It's not your protestations of love. That isn't the offering. The offering isn't the flowers. The offering isn't any of that. The offering is what you're giving away to make room to feel what is really coming toward you. Do you understand what I'm saying a little bit? When you are always operating from the perspective of I want, I need, not only can you not feel love coming toward you, but you don't really love anybody else. Because real love comes with total respect. And real love comes with a sense of wonder. And real love has no limit. It takes you away. It is not sticky. It is not needy. It is not hot. It is not passionate. None of that. It's just like an overflow of, you can't even say what it is. Something very light. Something very light. And real love like that, the kind that you can find when you go into your own heart and empty it, and feel the love of teacher or of Ma, then you can discover your real essence. You can only discover your real essence nature that way. When you can really feel how much I love you, then you will have discovered something about your own essence nature. But when you're so busy worrying about me leaving, you're so busy feeling future projections of loss, working yourself up into a lather. You're so busy worrying about what you're not getting from me or somebody else. You're so busy thinking about how it might not work out, or, with some partner or something like that. You're so busy with all of that. You're filling your heart with that crap. Right? And really, you have to get serious about giving that stuff away. Make that the offering. Make that the puja. Get serious about that, right? This is not something that you can skip over. If you want to wake up, if you really want love, you have to give all that away. You have to give all your demands away. Right? That's the only way to do it. There's nothing to fix. There isn't really anything to get. It's all already being given. It's all already being given. And you have to become more empty of those demands in order to understand that and really feel it. We're also afraid of change and impermanence. You know, I still feel this. I joked about it a long time ago. I wrote a post about it once. I think it was called something like, "Is fear of impermanence a guy thing?" Because, you know, I'd been hearing about this thing called impermanence ever since I started, you know, around the spiritual block. And I just never really got it. It was like, yeah, I mean, that's news to anybody? Really? Like, people have to go to a teaching to find out that there's impermanence? And that's a big problem? But yeah, as I've been around longer, I realize that is a big problem for a lot of people. We're trying to fix things in a certain way. We want things our way. If you want things your way, you're basically saying, I want to remain unenlightened. You can get things your way. You can always find some teacher or some person who will give it to you the way you want it. You know, go on Tinder. I'm sure you can find somebody. Go on OkCupid. You can find somebody who will give you love in the way that you want it. And then you'll just be there doing that. That isn't waking up, right? If you insist on what you want, Ma in her infinite grace will give it to you. That's an old tantric saying. If you keep insisting on what you want, on what small I, little I wants, you will get that. And then you will live through every inch of that karma until it peters out. That's what you will do, right? But understand that you really have to, at some point, you have to give it away. You cannot take those tensions with you. You cannot take those demands with you on the path of waking up. You simply can't, and at some point, you are going to have to recognize that. You will recognize that, whether you want to or not, whether you go kicking and screaming or not. You will recognize that everything has got to go. One time I had a really wonderful transmission dream. You know, it was really funny because in the dream I was in a giant shopping mall that had like a huge center atrium. And I was sitting at a table across the table from Barbara Walters. And we were talking about like John F. Kennedy or something, what we thought of the assassination of Kennedy. And then all of a sudden, from the center of this atrium came a booming voice. Kind of like, I interrupt this stupid dream to give you this amazing teaching. That's basically what happened. I got a really amazing teaching from some wisdom being in the middle of this utterly mundane and idiotic dream. And the voice said something like, do you think it's enough just to put a dab of ash on your forehead? It said, everything must become ash. Hey, shopping malls are good for something, I guess. It's not enough. You can't get away with just putting a little dab of ash on your forehead and leaving all the rest of it intact. You have to make the whole thing ash. And to do that, you have to be willing to head off into the unknown. I can sit here and say, well, having experienced that love from my guru and understanding what it really was, and having somehow over years found my way to being able to open my heart to that and share it with you, I can say how wonderful that is. I can say how it is fulfillment itself, and that all this other stuff that we do will never bring fulfillment. I can say that, but you'll still be terrified to let go of your demands, because you'll still be terrified that there'll be nothing there when you do. We have to be willing to go through emptiness. We have to be willing to feel disoriented. We have to be willing to not know what is going to happen. You cannot realize if you are not willing to move forward with the process of letting go of your tensions and not know what's going to happen next. It is this way every single time. Every single time you let go and just let life be itself and move forward, every time you will not know what is going to happen next. And so if you cling to this idea that you have to have something immediately to replace what it is you're letting go of, and you have to know what that thing is, you will never realize. Now what does change, that never changes. But what does change is your level of confidence in life, in nature. Your level, I would just say nature. Your level of confidence in the process of nature unfolding and in wisdom itself, that will change. And it will be easier and easier and easier to let go, because you will come to understand how nature works, how the process of waking up works, and slowly over time you will develop tremendous confidence in that. Until you have developed that tremendous confidence, you can do a few things. You're not lost in the dark. You can look to the great masters and even your teacher, your local teacher. And hopefully one of the main reasons, or the only most important reason that those who are studying with me is because they see some possibility of having a more confident way of being in the world while letting go of the project of trying to make everything fit your demands. Hopefully you can feel that and you can see that I'm perfectly okay. I'm happier than most of you are. Hopefully you can see that and you can look to that and you can feel some confidence in this process. You can look to the moments when you've understood that you can just go along with nature without any preconception, without any plan, and it'll all be fine. Everybody who's been practicing for a while has had that experience at least now and then. You can look to that and recall that in order to have more confidence. There is no refuge in following the demands and ideas and needs of the limited self. There is no refuge in that. You will never feel safe doing that. You will never feel 100% fulfilled doing that. And you will never get rid of your loneliness or your anxiety doing that. Never, never, never. The only refuge is in letting go of all those tensions and discovering your essence nature, that pervasive, unlimited, and uncontrived, unconditioned essence that is pervasive and universal, that is right here, everywhere. Not something airy-fairy, not just an idea, something you can feel, something you can identify with, and something you can embody. And the practice will give you the ability to do this. That is the only refuge. It's the only way to get rid of loneliness. It's the only way to get rid of anxiety. It's the only way to be truly respectful and loving of other people, is to embody that essence nature with awareness. Of course you embody it already because it's your essence nature, but you're having a very limited experience of it right now. I also want to say that the original talk for tonight was going to be something else, but I got several emails and was in a couple of discussions of people already being disturbed that I was leaving. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel anything about it. I'm just saying the desperation is not about love, it's about need. But I was originally going to talk about everything can always be otherwise. This is a very important and creative, natural cosmic law. I just want to say one word about this, or a few words about this right now. Ma said, God makes the impossible possible and the possible impossible. Now that might be a little confusing, but what it really means is that this reality has unlimited potential to manifest any situation. Something that was possible can become impossible. Something that seemed impossible can become possible. That's part of what we call in the tantric biz the swatantriya, the freedom of this reality. You can be living a life that has much bigger range if you want to. And I'm saying this particularly in regard to teachings. Oftentimes, and many times over this trip, people have asked me, how can I become closer to you? How can I get more teachings? The answer is come to teachings. Then people are thinking, oh, I live far away, or I'm busy, or something or other. Throughout time, students have gone to extraordinary lengths to get teachings. You have it so easy. It's mind-boggling how easy you all have it. People have trudged thousands of miles over snow and ice to get teachings. People have eaten out of, this is a real story, lived in train stations and eaten scraps off people's tables in train station restaurants in order to get teachings. People have made tremendous efforts to get teachings. If there's somebody here who is sincerely feeling that they just have to have more teachings, then come to Maine. That is not a big deal if you really want teachings. The least you can do is show up at Kailash House for the live satsang on Sunday. Drive across town. There was, the first year I was in Portland, I don't know who this person was, but she wrote to me every now and then. The first letter she wrote to me was some email with something like, your teachings are too expensive for someone who's new at teaching. That was a complaint. The second one was, I wish you had teachings on a different night because I can't come on the night you have teachings. The third email was, I wish the teachings were in different locations because it's hard for me to get to the location where the teachings are. So after a slew of these letters, and she never showed up at anything, I wrote her an email that said, I'm going to be at home every night this week. Come over whenever you want. I never heard from her again. So I'm saying if there's something you really, really want, spiritually speaking, go get it. Don't sit around enacting the drama of your abandonment and loss. That's just a total waste of energy. Make efforts to get teachings. I'm not saying just for me, but if any teachings that you want, make efforts to get them. That's what people do. These teachings are precious. We are in human bodies. We can practice. That is a precious opportunity. And then some people are thinking, it's a 15-minute drive. It's too far away.
Jayakula is a nonprofit community offering opportunities to learn and practice in the direct realization traditions of Trika Shaivism and Dzogchen. We are based in Portland, Maine and Portland, Oregon. Visit jayakula.org to explore more of our offerings.